It began with this post from a viewer who says he routinely sees this man seemingly working non-stop around southwest Louisiana. Thanks to some help from DOTD, we were able to track him down. His name is Danny McKnight, and he's employed by Jackie Guillory, owner of Westlake-based Abita Builders. Some of you call him Pawpaw Weed Eater, and with his Duck Dynasty beard, there's a chance you've seen him.
Dan is my most devoted employee that I have.
According to Business Insider, an online news and technology magazine, 80% of people hate their jobs. McKnight certainly is not one of them.
He loves his work. He loves his job.
It's a challenge. You run across something that really needs to be done, you just do it the best you can, you know what I mean?
Guillory says she met McKnight 12 years ago when he was unemployed. A Chicago native, he's been in Louisiana since 1976, Lake Charles since 2004. McKnight and his crew maintain the highways and underpasses from the Texas border to Acadiana. His passion for his work has put him in harm's way.
I was airlifted to the hospital because someone was on a cell phone texting and ran into the back of our gator and knocked us into the ditch.
Luckily, he only received a sprained wrist. But through the fire ants and snakes...
I've been lucky with gators, but almost every other day we're knocking out snakes.
Guillory says McKnight never misses work, and if he does, she knows something really is wrong.
No, I don't. I like being out here every day.
And aside from his indelible work ethic, Guillory says McKnight is, above all else, a good person.
When he first started with me, he was picking trash with our litter crew. And he found a $100 bill over in Westlake by the casino area. And he went in the next store and changed it for 20s and shared it with everybody on the crew. That's just how Dan is. He's would give you, he'll do without before he sees somebody else do without.
At your service, Eric Tiger, KPLC 7 News. If you've ever dealt with poor customer service, there's a chance you've been to this point. In this famous scene from 1987's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, Steve Martin's character is doing everything he can to make it home for Thanksgiving, but keeps running into obstacles along the way. When a car rental company leaves him stranded without a vehicle, he reaches his breaking point and takes it out on a customer service rep who, at first, dismisses his obvious disgust. Upon hanging up, the rep receives a profanity-filled tirade from Martin. You might not actually get to the point of acting like this, but you can certainly empathize with Martin's character. Amber Armstrong says in August of 2012 she was shopping at the DeRidder Walmart when her grandmother had an accident. Armstrong went back into the store to get some new clothes for her grandmother, and she says upon checking out, the customer service manager was audibly discussing the incident in front of other customers and employees.
I was angry. I was embarrassed. Embarrassed for her. I'm saying that this woman had the nerve to talk about her. I mean, it's an 80-year-old woman, very upset.
Armstrong called her mother, Chris Franklin, about the incident, who ultimately contacted Walmart's corporate offices in Bentonville, Arkansas. She says a company representative told her the company would investigate how the incident was handled and get back with her. Franklin also says the woman asked for her mother's hospital room number so flowers could be sent.
Never got flowers. Never got a face-to-face apology from anyone from Walmart.
A Walmart spokesman confirmed the incident to KPLC and would only say that disciplinary action was taken. A former Walmart employee, Franklin says the state of customer service has changed drastically since her days there.
The customer is always right. Not anymore.
No.
Dr. Jeff Totten is a professor of marketing at McNeese State University. His colleague, Dr. Mitchell Adrian, is a professor of management. Both say the quality of service you receive and the attitudes of those providing it are a direct result of the management team at the establishment.
If you really don't care as a manager, if you're really not doing your job, then things start to slide and you have poor customer service.
Adrian says the management team drives the concept of culture within an organization, and customer service is going to be the result of that culture. He says a lot of companies simply are not customer service driven and focused.
If the people in the organization believe that serving the customer is a worthwhile thing, something they want to do, management supports that, drives that, expects that of the people who work there, you'll probably end up with good customer service. If management is only in thinking about sales, well, then you'll probably have a sales team that thinks about sales and not service. Southwest Airlines is a good example in that they focus on making their employees feel good about their job, with the expectation that if they treat their employees well, their employees will treat the customers the same way.
And the outlook might not look good for Southwest Louisiana regarding quality customer service, and it has a lot to do with the expected population surge. An explanation of that and much more as our series continues Tuesday. A 2010 article in New Yorker magazine called "Are You Being Served?" detailed the fledgling dynamic between customers and businesses. One quote from that article underpins what seems to be the general perception now. The contemporary customer is mad as hell, fed up with inept service, indifferent employees, and customer service departments that are harder to negotiate than Kafka's castle. That flies in the face of what every major retailer and restaurant champions. We've selected a few. Target. Our mission is to make Target your preferred shopping destination in all channels by delivering outstanding value, continuous innovation, and exceptional guest experiences. Walmart is committed to providing you superior customer service and a pleasant shopping experience. McDonald's, a company seeking new ways to fulfill our brand promise of quality, service, cleanliness, and value. Olive Garden. The end result is a dining experience that's casual yet stylish, creating an atmosphere of openness, spontaneity, and generosity. But generosity is something a lot of consumers say is severely lacking at many businesses. That New Yorker article cites a survey of more than 300 big companies, 80% of which describe themselves as offering superior customer service. Consumers, however, contend it's more like 8%.
How are the employees treated? And then that can translate into how the customers get treated as well.
And it might not look good for the future of customer service in Southwest Louisiana. Professor of Management at McNeese State, Dr. Mitchell Adrian, says while research doesn't exist on the correlation between population surges and the resulting relationship between businesses and customers, as an area grows like ours is projected to, there are more less skilled workers filling entry-level positions that frequently pit customers face-to-face with those workers.
Since, again, the entry-level positions are very often the service-oriented positions, there's an expectation that service quality would decline as the population increases.
McNeese State marketing professor Dr. Jeff Totten says the advancement of social media has only compounded the ability to criticize companies over poor experiences. We'll delve into that more as our series continues Wednesday.
It used to be that you would gripe about something to your friends, neighbors, and that was about it, or maybe your co-workers. Now, if you're so inclined, you can flame the company. It goes worldwide.
And because of that, contrary to what many might believe, McNeese marketing professor Dr. Jeff Totten says generally companies, even the multi-billion-dollar giants of commerce, do care about customers and their experiences.
If more and more disenchantment spreads and consumers take to social media, then there's more likely that other people would pick up on it and they may start a boycott.
Totten cites Procter & Gamble as an example of how companies, no matter the size, will give in to public perception. In the early 1980s, rumors started that the company openly supported the Church of Satan. Those who believed it pointed to the company's logo, the man in the moon and 13 stars, thought by some to be a satanic symbol. The story was preposterous, but nonetheless, in 1991, P&G gave in and scrapped the logo and adopted a simpler one due to public opinion. That was before social media, and because a lot of people believe everything they read online, even if it is bogus.
Marketers really have to be aware of social media and actually actively monitor it today.
The American Customer Satisfaction Index publishes research every year that measures how satisfied customers are with certain products and services in the U.S. For the department discount store category, the score of 77 is the benchmark for the year 2014. Companies with scores higher than that are regarded as those that emphasize customer service, while those that fall below 77 are those that customers feel need work.
Ideally, we would like every company, no matter if it's small, Lake Charles-based, or if it's a national chain, or anywhere in between, to take customer service seriously.
But let's be honest, it's not always the customer who's so deserving of quality attention. I worked a retail gig in college many years ago, and it was during that time when I realized just how abusive and ugly people can be toward those in the service industry. My wife was a server when we started dating, and I saw her take grief from customers over absolutely mundane details. It's as if there's this attitude that just because people are paying for something, that gives them justification to treat others poorly. Which begs the question, at what point does trying to accommodate customers become more of a challenge than it's worth? If workers become the target of angry customers and their inexcusable behavior, why should those employees go out of their way to look out for them? Obviously, that's a generalization, and not every customer is so full of vitriol, but it does make you wonder if service workers have cashed it in. More on that Thursday. In my 36 years, I've known many folks who've worked jobs from cutting hair to waiting tables or working in retail. And they all had one thing in common. They had to deal with people.
I've had a problem with that once where the customers got belligerent. Pretty much like cussing and saying they weren't going to pay their tab.
Jordan Doherty's been a server at Harlequin Steaks and Seafood in Lake Charles for almost 9 years. He says some people simply don't get it.
Some people are just very rude in nature. Some people just they don't have the concept of just being cordial.
Which is why, despite the perception that customer service is a lost art, is it really hard to blame some workers for taking an apathetic approach to your plight.
We get our feelings hurt because we know these people too, you know. If you're waiting on a table that you see twice a week, and then all of a sudden this couple comes in that's never been in here before, and they tell you how horrible, they go tell our manager how horrible the service was. Well, you know in your heart that you might not have been great because you were busy, but you weren't awful and you weren't disrespectful to them.
Harlequin owner Nick Hunter.
I try and tell my employees, there's this saying in The Godfather, this is the life we chose. And I remind them that, this is the life you chose. So whether you're getting through school or whether this is a career for you, this is the life you chose, and it's dealing with the public.
Even so, he says he and his employees are fully aware of difficult customers.
We have a little list of some people that we know are going to be really hard to deal with. And some of these people come in every week, and that's okay. We love them. But I will sit down with the server before they take care of that customer, and I'll say, hey, FYI, give you a little heads up. These people are going to be hard to deal with. You need to kind of get your ducks in a row for these customers. In probably 15 years, I can think of 2 or 3 occasions where they couldn't be pleased. I had tried to do everything I could. They were being extremely rude and vocal. And as they left, I politely invited them not to come back.
Nikki Buxton is the Director of Marketing and Business Development at Prion Lake Mall. She says the CEO of Simon Property Group, which owns the mall, recently decided the company needed to refocus its efforts to make customers feel more appreciated, specifically in the area of more one-on-one attention and more enticed to visit.
I try to walk up to them and ask them about, if they need anything, or we have what we call surprise and delights. And what that is we give maybe like the kids candy, or we give out gift cards or coupons to stores.
And while those efforts are appealing, Buxton says what seems to be a problem in her line of work, as is the case in many other businesses, is rather than coming off as rude or demeaning, many customers won't say anything at all.
A lot of people, they don't let us know. If you're unsatisfied, we want to hear from you, because how are we going to fix that if you don't let us know as a shopper?
But that comes with an emphatic reminder.
If you're coming at us calmly, we're going to be able to address it and really go to the tenant and talk to them. Hey, how can we help this customer out? And we've done that.
In the end, it all comes back to something we all should have been taught at a young age, and it really is quite simple. The golden rule: treat others the way you want to be treated.